ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Brought to you by Nissan, built for the human race. By Braun Electric Shavers. It is through superior design that superior performance can be achieved. By Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. And by Magnavox. Smart choices for smart people. The ingenious products from Magnavox. They're smart, very smart.
The Liberty Bell, located in Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And here, a look at the city of brotherly love. On a night when the temperatures here in the east will drop into the 20s. A beautiful night for football, very little breeze. And here's Veterans Stadium, always a noisy stadium for the Philadelphia Eagles. And tonight, it will be rocking even more so as the New York Giants are here to renew a long and bitter rivalry. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford, along with Al Michaels and Dan Dierdorf. Happy you're with us for this matchup. In all honesty, when we saw this game on our schedule last spring, we thought, wow, what a football game. It'll be two teams fighting for the lead in the NFC Eastern Division, two bitter rivalries. And, of course, that is certainly not the case. The Redskins running away with it here in the East. They are 9-0. The Giants are 4-4, and the Eagles are 3-5. It all started early for the Eagles. They lost their Pro Bowl quarterback, Randall Cunningham, in the first game. They've lost their backup quarterback, Jim McMahon, for a couple of games. They played 5 quarterbacks in all, and their offense certainly reflects that. They'll try to win it on defense against the Giants' offense that at times, Al Michaels, has been brilliant. They've been inconsistent, and against the defense for the Giants, well, let's face it, the guys that played defense were the same guys that played last year. This year, they're giving up the big play instead of making the big play.
They are, Frank. I think the Giants have been basically inconsistent. That's why they are 4-4. There is one constant, however. They continue to play very close games. Of the 8 games the Giants have played this season, only 1 has been decided by more than 6 points. They're moving the ball, but they are not cashing in. The Giants have not scored more than 2 touchdowns in any game this season. I asked Ray Handley last night to assess Jeff Hostetler at midterm. He says he's happy with him. He's played relatively well. Last year, you'll recall, the Giants came into Philadelphia 10-0, and Bill Parcells went totally against what he had been doing. He tried to go through the air and win the game. It was a disaster. They lost 31-13. Tonight, expect the Giants to go back to what they do best, run the ball with Rodney Hampton, and why not? They're #1 in the league in rushing. But Dan, tonight, that #1 rushing attack faces the #1 defense in the league, and the Eagles are lucky they're #1 defensively. Otherwise, they'd be 0-8.
Yeah, when you look at the Eagles' problems, Al, you certainly can't lay anything on the defense. They don't play good defensive here in Philadelphia. They play great defense. And when you consider that their offensive woes have been such, it's even more remarkable when you consider they haven't let anyone score more than 2 touchdowns all season long. Offensively for Philadelphia, it's quite simple. They aren't running the ball very well, and they aren't protecting their quarterback. If you can't protect your quarterback in this league, you can't win. I don't care. They better keep in a running back, a tight end. They better protect Jim McMahon. He's hobbled, he barely practices, and if he takes much of a beating at all tonight, the odds are slim that he'll be there at the end of this ball game.
And we will see McMahon very shortly, because the Eagles will receive the opening kickoff. Rookie head coach Rich Kotite on the sideline with Jim McMahon. And for the Giants, Matt Barr is still hurt, and so Raul Allegre, the once and present Giant, who was signed last week, kicks off, and it's fielded at the 7-yard line by Rod Harris, who's had a lot of trouble lately with fumbles and muffs, but he holds on to this one and takes it back to the 29-yard line, where Lamar McGriggs makes the tackle. Jim McMahon, so many fine seasons with the Chicago Bears, and then he went to San Diego briefly, signed as the backup to Cunningham here last year. And he'll be backed up by Heath Sherman and Keith Byers in the backfield. Barnett and Williams are both healthy, the wideouts, and Keith Jackson, the tight end. And there is that very inconsistent offensive line, which has really had enormous trouble. First down, Philadelphia from the 28-yard line. And they open in a 1-back set, and they give it to Keith Byers, but Lawrence Taylor is right there to knock him down at the 27-yard line. Taylor coming in virtually untouched. The 3-man front, and again, they're missing Eric Howard, and that's been a big loss. Dorsey, Washington, and Marshall. The 4 very recognizable linebackers, Banks and Reasons and Johnson and Taylor, a terrific quartet. Collins, a little shaky lately, and he's been hurt with Walls on the other side. Jackson and Guyton are the safeties. Second down and 11. Rich Kotite said last night they were going to open it up on second down. And they open it up here in a little swing pass to Keith Byers, and Taylor runs him out of bounds, so Lawrence will get credit for the first 2 tackles of the night, as the pass takes the Eagles out to the 33-yard line, where it will be 3rd down and 5.
And you saw what we're going to see all night from Jim McMahon, and Dan touched on it. They have to keep number 9 healthy, and the best way to do that is to drop quickly. The 1-2-3, he looked downfield for his tight end. He wasn't there, and he quickly got it into the flat because he cannot move around in that pocket at all. He's wearing a very different knee brace, and he cannot extend the leg, and he really has no mobility whatsoever.
Out of the shotgun with Keith Jackson in motion. They have to get to the 38, and McMahon guns one to the 37-yard line, but it's a one-hopper, and it is incomplete. The official coming right in to signal that the ball bounced on the turf. But instead, I believe he's now going to signal he did make the catch, but it is downed at the 37.
Yeah, they're ruling that Keith Jackson, when he caught the ball, when he did his pivot to head back upfield and try to get the first down yardage, had his right knee down on the ground, and that's where they spotted it. I think we'll get a look at it here from behind. Right there, the knee is down. So it's a good spot by the official.
Completed pass, but not enough for the first down. And the kick by Fiegels is fielded at the 24-yard line by Dave Meggett, who's been bothered with a sore heel, and he can't get on track on the return. And the Giants will have it at their own 23-yard line. So the Eagles go 3 and out, which has been the story of their season. And here come the Giants to begin their first drive. Jeff Hostetler completing nearly 2/3 of his passes, but he's thrown only 4 touchdown passes this season. Hampton and Carthen, the running backs. Ingram and Baker, the wideouts, cross the tight end. And as opposed to the Eagles, the Giants, of course, with a very formidable offensive line. 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. That's Jared Bunch in motion. And Rodney Hampton, who has taken over as their featured back, picking up 3. He runs into the middle linebacker, Byron Evans. Now the Eagle defense, number 1 in the league, and the guys up front are sensational. White, Brown, Pitts, and Simmons. Then the linebackers, Joyner and Evans, are joined by the rookie William Thomas, getting his first start in place of Jesse Small. Smith and Allen at the corners, and the hard-hitting safeties are Waters and Hopkins. 2nd and 7, New York from the 27. Opening stages of the game, no score. Hostetler throws through the hands of the intended receiver. That was Odessa Turner, unable to haul it in, and it will be 3rd down and 7. Ben Smith covering on the play.
What the Giants had hoped to do is to stay out of a 3rd down and long situation, as we see Hostetler just throwing this just a little high over the outstretched arms of Odessa Turner, who is 6'3", one he probably should have caught. But the Giants now, they're going to get the full brunt of one of the best pass rushes and defenses in the league.
That last pass, the Eagles got their knockdown number 1. Hostetler ended up on his back.
4 wide receivers, 3rd and 7. Play clock is down to 3. And Hostetler moves up, throws, and it's incomplete. He bought some time and got the pass away, but Stephen Baker couldn't hold on to the low throw, and the Giants will kick.
Not that bad a protection. He had the time. It was just good coverage downfield. Here's Baker. Baker working against Eric Allen. Fine cornerback, but he breaks it off over the middle. Hostetler buys a little bit of time, but underthrows just a little bit. 2 good cornerbacks here in the Eagles. Ben Smith and Eric Allen. They'll play a lot of man-to-man.
Sean Landetta averaging 42.1 yards a kick. Sends one in the direction of Rod Harris. He takes it at the 34. And it's a 9-yard return to the 43. Steve Diassi makes the tackle. So each team 3 and out on its first possession. 11:57 to go, first quarter. In the first half of the season, the Eagles with 100 drives. Randall Cunningham led 2 of them before he was hurt. Then came McMahon for 58. He was hurt. In came Pat Ryan to lead them through 13. Brad Gable punched in for 25. And then Jeff Kemp acquired from Seattle for 2 before he suffered a concussion. So the Eagles with 100 drives in their first 8 games, but they've been very unproductive, and we'll show you that in a moment. Here is drive 2 tonight. McMahon on first down from the 42, fires and has an open man, and the catch is made by Calvin Williams, who's been hurt but is healthy, and he could make a big difference. For the Eagles, as you can see, McMahon is the only quarterback who's led them to any touchdowns this season. Gable has led them to 2 field goals. Ryan, Kemp, and Cunningham all with 0s. So 100 drives coming into the game tonight, but only 9% of them resulted in touchdowns. The 2 rookie head coaches, Rich Kotite and Ray Handley. Gain of 16 on the pass to Williams. First down, Eagles at the Giant 42. And they give it to Byers, and they're going to do that a little bit more tonight than they have done. Keith has not been happy with his lack of ball carrying thus far this season, but he's probably going to get more of a chance tonight than he has at any time this year. Keith Byers, who is used in so many roles, slot back, wing back, running back, fullback, tight end.
And I might say rather well.
But he's still not the type of player, I think. Even though he wants the ball more, he's just not a 20 or 25 carry a guy in the National Football League. He's not that good a runner.
Second down and 8. And boy, would the Eagles love to find any runner right now. McMahon throws, and the pass is incomplete and near no one. Gary Reasons put the pressure on as he came blitzing through.
No, but Frank touched on it. Whether there's a receiver open or not, smartly, Jim McMahon is going to throw the ball. I mean, he has been given, and I don't think it's something that Rich Kotite had to beat into his head. Get rid of the football. You're doing the team no good by holding on to it and taking a beating.
Third down, long yardage. It'll be a good clue as to what the Giants' strategy will be against McMahon. Will they bring the blitz? Will they try to reach him? Or will they drop back into their zone?
That's Roy Green in motion on third down and 8 from the 40. Giants blitz, and McMahon unloads deep, and the pass is nearly intercepted. Perry Williams back there covering on the pass intended for Fred Barnett.
That was absolutely perfect coverage by Perry Williams. A guy who had a tough game last week against the Redskins. That time just absolutely perfect coverage. It's tough for a corner to be locked up man-to-man and stay with a guy any closer than this. Williams doesn't know where the ball is, but he knew where Barnett was.
And he did it on the blitz. Banks coming up the middle, Taylor from the outside.
Eagles already kicking for the second time tonight, and we haven't played 5 minutes, and this one goes into the end zone. With the Eagles doing nothing offensively this season, Fiegels is averaging over 5 punts a game. 10-11 to play. First quarter, no score in Philly. Very key battle in the NFC Central comes up next Monday. Monday Night Football goes to the Metrodome. The Bears take on the Vikings. Chicago 7-2, and Minnesota has now won 3 of their last 4, knocking off Tampa Bay yesterday back of Terry Allen in relief of Herschel Walker. Here the Giants take over at their own 20-yard line. Jared Bunch in motion, first and 10. Here's Hampton behind Carson. And a great move put on by William Thomas, the rookie linebacker, to ward off a blocker and get in there and make the tackle.
William Thomas is starting in the position normally occupied by a former #1 draft choice, Jesse Small, actually the Eagles' first draft choice. This guy listed at 218. He's really about 213. There he is right at the bottom. He takes on the block by Bunch, slips inside the block of Carthen, and gets into the backfield to drag down Hampton. This guy is going to be a player in the National Football League, but man, is he small. 213 might make him the smallest outside linebacker in the NFL.
On second and 10, here's Hampton to the right side, and he is chased down by Reggie White sliding laterally to make the tackle at the 23, and here's Reggie sliding.
Thomas might be one of the smallest linebackers. You're looking at one of the biggest and best defensive linemen ever to play this game. Watch number 92. Taking on Riesenberg, who is playing with a very sore ankle, sliding out and nailing Hampton for just a couple of yards.
You see how he never let Riesenberg get into his body? Kept those arms locked out. Riesenberg never even got a helmet into the body of Reggie White. This guy is all man.
3rd and 7 from the Giant 23. No score, 8:40 left, first quarter. Hostetler tackled at the 22, Simmons and White, and they will get credit for a sack because that's a 1-yard loss.
And call that a coverage sack. That was just good defensive play downfield. We talked about the 2 cornerbacks, Ben Smith, Eric Allen. They are terrific cornerbacks. And there's plenty of time for this pass to be released, but there was not a receiver to release it to.
Now Landetta for his second punt. Rod Harris back to receive. He lets it bounce at the 40, steals at the 35, and brings it back to the 39. Roger Brown makes the hit. Well, it's figured to be low scoring. We figured to see a lot of punts. We've already seen 4 in the first 6 minutes and 56 seconds. Last year, thanks mainly to Randall Cunningham, who averaged almost 8 yards a carry, the Eagles averaged 4.7 yards per carry on the ground. This year, a dismal 2.6, last in the league, 2.6 yards per rush. They open with a double tight end set to the Eagles from their own 39, 1st and 10. And this is Heath Sherman, and that's the story of the Philadelphia running game. The Eagles are on a pace right now to establish all sorts of unwanted records in terms of dismal rushing numbers. And there's very little Rich Kotite can do about it. He's got that inconsistent offensive line, and he really doesn't have the feature back that he needs.
And they don't have the featured tight end as far as a blocker. Keith Jackson is a great receiver. Their last possession, the play by Lawrence Taylor, Maurice Johnson, their one tight end got beat to the inside. That time it was Jackson beaten by Carl Banks. You can't run the football without a great blocking tight end.
2nd and 10. 4-man rush, and that's enough for Washington to get in and tackle McMahon at the 40. It's actually a minimal gain, but it will be 3rd down and long.
Good push on both sides of the Lions defensive line. Leonard Marshall and Eric Dorsey, who could have a big night. He's not a noted pass rusher, Dorsey, but he's going against Anton Davis, the rookie right tackle, number 78, who Dan has had all kinds of problems this season.
He's had problems that no man should have to go through. This is Heller on the other side. Really an effective job of taking care of Lawrence Taylor, forcing him to spin back to the inside. There's big Anton Davis right there.
3rd and 8, Eagles from the 40-yard line. Green in motion. McMahon has to get it to the 49-yard line. And that's the smart thing to do because he's the last guy they can afford to lose. He takes it to the 42. He gets up a little gingerly. And we have now played almost 9 minutes, and there has been 1 first down in the game.
Here's LT again. This time he's back in the inside, and look how he loops all the way back around to the outside. And that was really a pretty good pickup by the Eagles, but McMahon running is not the way they're going to win this game.
The Eagles' 3rd punt of the night results in a fair catch made by Meggett at the 19. Giants take over there. Scoreless first quarter with 5:53 on the clock. And now it's time for our regular feature on what's new in the world of sports science and technology.
There's a man on the sidelines, Phil Simms, been down in that 14th game, led the NFC in passing a year ago, and I'll tell you, he has handled this situation better than anyone I could imagine would handle it.
It's an amazing thing. The only guy in the league who's been active for every game on the 45-man roster who has not played a down. 1st and 10. Hostetler is 0 for his first 2. He is chased by White, and Reggie White is able to force Jeff to finally step out of bounds near the original line of scrimmage with some help from Joyner.
I'll tell you, that'll speed you up, won't it? 285 pounds of Reggie White chasing right on your tail.
That put some jet fuel in my motor.
Look how deep Hostetler takes his rollout. He has to, because White first takes it upfield, and he messes up any possibility for Hostetler to get it downfield by forcing him so deep, and then he runs him out to the sidelines, and he just does get back to the line of scrimmage.
I think it's safe to say that's as fast as Jeff Hostetler has ever run. He was not pacing himself.
2nd and 9, Giants from the 20-yard line. They've been using Bunch as the man in motion tonight, and here is Hampton, and he can only take it out to the 23-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and about 6 with 5 minutes 10 seconds left in a scoreless first quarter.
Have I missed anything? Has there been a first down yet?
1 on the pass from McMahon to Williams.
1 first down. 5 minutes left here, 4:59. It's well, we knew how good both these clubs were defensively.
Well, the Eagles are ranked 4th overall in the league coming into the game after their 8th week. The Giants right up there too. The Eagles ranked 2nd. The Giants are ranked 4th.
3rd and 6 from the 23-yard line.
Oh, there's the false start, and that's the crowd. Jeff Hostetler back in the shotgun formation. His offensive lineman couldn't hear what he was audibling.
Down to the snap. Number 60 offense.
A good sign. A good sign that there's confusion is when you see those heads start to swivel on the offensive lineman, and you could see a whole bunch of the Giants cocking their head one way and then the other, trying to hear their quarterback. Hostetler, if that happens again, is going to have to come back and come up under center.
3rd and 11 now after the penalty from the 18-yard line. And Hostetler's throw is caught up at the 21-yard line, but that's a minimal gain for the rookie from Stanford, Ed McCaffrey. And the Giants will have to punt again. Wes Hopkins makes the tackle. The game is 11 minutes old, and we're going to see our 6th punt.
Part of that jumpiness on the line of scrimmage too, Dan, is the fact that you're looking across at Jerome Brown and Reggie White, Clyde Simmons. They'll get your attention.
And you know what? Jumbo Elliott, I thought, jumped off sides that last play. The Giants really got away with one.
Yes. Landetta kicking. Rod Harris to receive.
John used to kick here in the old days of the USFL.
Low kick. 38, Harris. And flags come in from about 9 different directions as he takes it back to the 49-yard line. Johnny Greer is the referee tonight.
Illegal block. Number 36 on the run back. First down.
Robert Drummond. And so instead of the Eagles having the ball near midfield, they'll push it back, and we'll see the infraction.
Right there at the top left of your screen, you see him come in, and you can see that's a classic back block on McGriggs. You tried to pull up, but that's not good enough. You made contact, that'll bring the flag. Still good field position for the Eagles.
3:30 left in a scoreless first quarter. 1st and 10 from the 40. McMahon just throws it away. Everybody covered. Giants do their job, and McMahon hurls it out of bounds. Eric Dorsey winds up knocking McMahon to the turf.
Again, good coverage downfield. The Giants picking up on Keith Jackson. That's where McMahon was trying to go. Looks over to the right. Jackson is picked up. He just throws this one away, but Dorsey is close enough to take a shot. And Dan, as we discussed, there is no pity in this game. I mean, you go after the young quarterbacks, you go after the infirmed, and that's just the way it goes.
Ask for none, and you get none.
You get a cripple out there, and you really go for him.
2nd and 10, Philadelphia from the 40. McMahon from the shotgun. Giants, after showing blitz, back off. McMahon throws, and that's incomplete. Intended for Calvin Williams, coming back at the 45-yard line. He's covered by Mark Collins. 3rd and 10.
Well, that was a screen to Byers out on the left flat, and the Giants were right in the middle of it. Lawrence Taylor was out there, and McMahon tried to look it off for another receiver, but there was none. It was set for the screen to the left.
You know, some of McMahon's options are being taken away from him, and wisely so. I think the Eagles are keeping a back and a tight end in at various times to help with pass protection. That's 1 less or 2 less people downfield that Jim has to look for and find.
McMahon is 3 of 7 for 26 yards. On 3rd and 10, it's caught at the Giant 45 by Fred Barnett, and a Philadelphia first down. Stop the pressures.
That's exactly the same pattern that they ran successfully before. It's coming in under that zone. You break free of the ride that happens at the line of scrimmage. There's Barnett at the top. You see Williams go with him and take that stutter step, but then look, he rolls right in underneath that umbrella of the Giants. Exactly the same pattern they completed before.
So first down at the 45, and Lawrence Taylor has limped off for the Giants. He's out of the game. Bobby Abrams, 51, is in. And here is Byers. And they try to exploit the absence of Taylor on that play, but only gain a yard, and Lawrence is fine. It's what you might call a minor injury, like 1 play.
Well, that might have been an injury that put somebody out for the entire game. I don't know that there's ever been a player who has shown the resiliency of Lawrence Taylor in sustaining an injury that might keep you from playing, and I mean, his ability to heal, Frank, is legendary.
Remarkable. He had the knee in the summer. He had the broken thumb against Dallas a few weeks ago.
2nd and 8 at the Giant 43. No score. 1:50 to go in the quarter. McMahon throws and threads the needle as the catch is made by Fred Barnett, and another first down at the Giant 26. Guyton and Walls make the stop.
And I think we're getting a good look at how it's going to be the wide receivers that are going to be the featured targets of Jim McMahon. That time, the tight end, Keith Jackson, stayed in to help block. He helped Anton Davis, and look what happens. They had a perfect alley and outstanding protection for McMahon. You'd expect the Giants, though, to make an adjustment and maybe start going to a different coverage, doubling those wide guys.
Well, that wasn't bad coverage. It was just perfectly thrown by McMahon. That was almost deflected. But they work over that left side, sending Byers out there and Barnett.
On first down, here's Byers. About 3 to the 23. Pepper Johnson makes the tackle under a minute to play in a scoreless first quarter.
We talked about Byers not being the running back that you really want in there carrying the ball 20, 25 times a game, but he is a definite threat coming out of the backfield as a receiver, and they have been working him over in the left side with Barnett, and you have to respect him, and you pull the underneath man in the zone up to cover Byers, and you get Barnett on a turn in, and he's been open.
2nd and 7, Philadelphia at the Giant 23-yard line. Williams in motion. Byers, flag. Byers takes it to the 17. Stopped by Banks.
Now, Pepper Johnson came on the blitz that time. You saw him walk right up on the line of scrimmage, and I think he's the Giant player that was held. Pepper walked right up on the line, right into that guard center gap.
Holding, 75, offense. Still 2nd down.
That's Rob Selby, the rookie guard, who I think drew the assignment. Here's Selby right down here, and look at Pepper right here lined up in the gap. Pepper's going to shoot to the inside, and Selby just tackles it. That's as good a description as I can come up with.
And
he tackled it.
And a pretty good tackle.
That's going to be the final play of the quarter. They'll just let the clock run out. And when play resumes, it'll be 2nd and 17. No score after the first 15-minute section. And back we come after this message and a word from our ABC station. Lights of Boathouse Row reflecting off the Schuylkill River here in Philadelphia. Looks like Santa's Village, and it's cold enough to be Santa's Village.
Yeah, no kidding. The weathermen are all looking for Santa now.
Not the Giants, though. Good night for football.
But the Giants had a request of Santa. It might be for a first down next time they get the ball.
We start the second quarter, 2nd and 17 for Philadelphia. Jim McMahon throws, and it's incomplete, intended for Keith Jackson, the tight end, who was surrounded by a quartet of Giants. ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you, friends know when to say when. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf, and let's take a look at the numbers through the first 15 minutes of play. And no first downs for the Giants. And only 15 yards for the Giants. 3rd and 17, Eagles. McMahon throws. The open man is Roy Green, and he takes it to the 20, but he's about 4 yards short of the first. Roger Brown makes the tackle, and the field goal unit comes in.
Yeah, but what a key catch by Roy Green, and boy was he open, because without that completion the Eagles would have had to punt. They were not in field goal range, and I'm a little mystified as to how he got to be that wide open.
Eagles calling a very heady game, though, protecting Jim McMahon, always having a man short that he can release the ball to, or either that or Jim just dumps it off. He is going to try to avoid the abuse if he can tonight because of that leg.
This is a 38-yard field goal attempt for Roger Ruzak, and it is good.
Well, he's having a great year for the Eagles. Can't blame anything on this guy. He has been sharp.
So the Eagles get on the board with 14:09 to play in the half. 3-0 Philadelphia. Well, that's not a sight that the Eagles wanted to see. Randall Cunningham in civvies, but he's been there since opening day, recovering from knee surgery. Talked to him before the game. He said he's ready to jog, but the doctors are not going to let him start jogging until probably early January. Says he's coming along very, very well, very happy with the progress he's made, but of course he is gone for the year.
And if they found out what he has meant to this team.
Ruzek kicks a one-hopper taken at the 5-yard line by Rodney Hampton, and he slips down at the 19-yard line. William Thomas makes the hit, and a little skirmish breaking out. Amounts to next to nothing.
And we looked at Randall Cunningham. It was Cunningham. Last year, the Eagles averaged 4.7 rushing the ball. This year, they're averaging 2.6, and it was Randall Cunningham who helped that because he had a 7.9 average himself.
Yep. Well, it figured to be a defensive struggle and not a lot of points, and the first quarter certainly reflected that.
Well, the first quarter couldn't have gone much better for Philadelphia. I mean, they need their defense to keep them in the ball game, and there's no way they're not going to. I mean, they are that good.
Giants still looking for their first down of the game. Hostetler under pressure, gets it out to the 21-yard line. Reggie White will get credit for a tackle, not a sack, because the one thing Hostetler can do is move, and he turns what would have been a sack into a 2-yard gain.
Again, though, Frank's touched on it earlier about the quality of this secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles, particularly the two corners, Allen and Smith. And again, Hostetler just could not find the receiver. And a very mature move there by Jeff Hostetler, pulling it down and running with the football. In a tight game, turnovers are going to be the key. Don't make a foolish throw.
2nd and 8 from the Giant 21. That's Ingram in motion. Hampton cuts it back. And the Giants get their first down as Hampton gets to the 31, a 10-yard gain. He's tackled by Ben Smith.
Seems like every game you watch Rodney Hampton, he becomes even better, more secure in the fact that he's got the job now, averaging over 4.5 a carry, somewhere around 4.7. He made a little move at the end of that to get the first down. There are not a lot of little backs that can make. A little juke to the outside, brought it back to the inside, and he got the first down out of it.
He is what the Eagles would love to have. A guy that can be the feature guy.
I think every team in the league would love to have a Rodney Hampton. Good receiver, too. 25 receptions coming out of the backfield.
First down. Hostetler, and there's White. And White initially gets him. And will get credit for the entire sack. I think it was Jerome Brown who came in to help clean up.
Tell me, Dan, how does a big man move that quickly?
I don't know. It's just going to be an upfield move and then back to the inside. Look at how he takes that right arm and just slings Riesenberg out of the way. It is unnatural the way that Reggie White can move for a man of his size. Keep in mind, he weighs 300 pounds, and he has that type of agility. He is remarkable.
As far as Riesenberg is concerned, he's playing with a very sore ankle from a week ago, and they were very worried about this matchup. Were the Giants.
2nd and 14. There's a flag. Hampton through the middle. Stop at the 29-yard line.
I think the Eagles might have jumped off sides.
If that is the call, it will be 2nd and 9, and that is the call from Johnny Greer. Well, the NFL started compiling sack statistics in '82. Taylor with 119.5. White would be next, but Reggie is the only guy since they've started recording sacks who has averaged better than 1 per game in his career.
I'd like to go back into the archives and see how a guy like Deacon Jones or Carl Eller, some of the great pass rushers of the past, compare with those numbers.
Doug Atkins.
Yeah.
2nd and 9. Hostetler throws, and a juggling catch is made by Mark Ingram, and he takes it into Eagle territory. Tackled by Hopkins. That's a 20-yard gain.
This time Hostetler with time to throw the ball. Ingram with a little circle, finding the open spot.
He took his time getting control of that ball. Good concentration there by Mark Ingram. He's having an excellent year for the Giants.
Well, one thing you know when you come across a secondary with the Eagles, somebody is going to give you a pop. They're heavy hitters.
1st and 10 from the 49-yard line.
You'll get a pop in Philadelphia walking out onto the field for warm-ups.
No play.
Looked like Zeke Moat fell out of his stance there, number 84. William Thomas in there pleading his case.
One of the things the Giants might have to do is to help Riesenberg against Reggie White. With either tight end or a big back, they have a scheme with Hampton, Carthen, and Bunch all in there. And they could give Riesenberg some help, just like the Eagles are giving Anton Davis help with their tight end and their backs. Maybe wondering, should I go to law school?
Takes 6 guys to figure it out.
Left defensive end. Still 1st down.
Well, that's a call that works against Philadelphia. William Thomas moved, but watch this, the bottom of the screen. There's Thomas moving, but look at Moat. I'm sorry, but that's a penalty that should have gone against the Giants.
He was drawn off, no question. And Reggie White was incensed. He's not a screamer.
A real break for the Giants there.
1st and 5 after the penalty, and Hampton fumbles, and Hostetler is there to recover back at the 50-yard line. It was Jerome Brown who came in to help create it. Brown having a tremendous year, and Hostetler slowly rising.
I don't think Hampton ever got the handoff from Hostetler. That was a poor play between the two.
I think Hampton was trying to break back to the inside before the ball was put in there. And the reason he had to break back to the inside because he was confronted by another 300-pounder, Jerome Brown.
Yeah, Hostetler put the ball in the right place. And what an alert play by Jeff.
2nd and 11 at the 50-yard line. 9:50 to go in the half. 3-0 Philadelphia. Hostetler, after starting to stumble, avoids the first man, but not the second. Clyde Simmons is the guy who finally knocks him down after he was knocked off balance by Byron Evans.
Well, the Eagles have never put 3 defensive linemen in a Pro Bowl together, and this probably will be the year. Reggie White, of course, but Jerome Brown having a great year inside, and this man, Clyde Simmons, takes the corner on Elliott, and just with hustle, keeps running, and the great speed tracks down Hostetler. This is as fine a front four as the National Football League has seen in a long, long time.
We're talking about Reggie White. Clyde Simmons coming into tonight led the Eagles in sacks.
3rd and 17 from the 45. Hostetler flips it to Meggett, and he is buried by Seth Joyner.
Whoa. And this is a very fired up Eagles team, and big plays by their defense. They knew that's what they were going to have, and they got one from Seth Joyner, and he's a big play player.
If you like football, you don't need a lot of points to enjoy this. This is a tough man's game right here tonight. Look at Joyner front up Meggett.
He came in as a 215-pound linebacker a few years ago, an 8th-round draft pick.
Here's Landeta to kick. Rod Harris back for the Eagles. Short kick. Bouncing at the 24 and downed at the 22-yard line. It's only a 32-yard kick. 8:21 remaining in the half. Take a look at the hit. 3-0 Philadelphia. Shamu hovering above Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Hard by the Delaware River.
Now killer whales like the cold water. The Shamu's got to be right at home here in Philadelphia tonight.
Eagles lead it 3-0. 1st and 10 from their own 25. 8:21 left in the half. Keith Sherman picks up a couple. We were talking to Rich Kotite last night about this game, and he said, you know, McMahon's the key. And then he paused and he said, for the defense too. And he is so right, because the defense has done such a sensational job, but they have been so frustrated by the inability of the offense to do anything.
How about being second in the league coming into this game tonight for the Eagles after their 8th game, and having an offense that just can't keep the football? It's remarkable.
Well, indicative of what Randall Cunningham meant to this football team.
Exactly.
2nd and 8 from the 27. Here come the Giants. McMahon is able to escape and then throws deep, and the pass is caught by Keith Jackson. And Jackson is inside the 10 for a touchdown.
Unbelievable. A guy on one leg beats the pass rush and makes a big play like that.
It was LT who made the move on McMahon. They're off far downfield trying to cover Jackson, and upfield McMahon was slipping a giant. Let's take a look. It's an outside blitz. Here's LT, and you can never cover Jackson with a linebacker, not even one with the speed of Lawrence Taylor.
Well, LT made the mistake. You could see it there. Instead of tracking Jackson, he turned back upfield to see what was happening to McMahon. He lost track of Keith Jackson, and that's where the touchdown came about.
Ruzek for the point after. It's a 73-yard touchdown pass, and McMahon did a wonderful job of getting away from Steve Diassi on the blitz.
Well, if you're going to get away from a linebacker, it may as well be Steve Diassi. He came in. He's a guy that usually is in there strictly against the run, and McMahon made a move to the outside on 99. LT looked upfield to see what was happening, and Jackson takes it in.
Giant defense a little shell-shocked right now. Burned on a 73-yard McMahon to Keith Jackson touchdown. 10-0 Philadelphia.
Yeah, the blitz forced man coverage, and it was a change-up blitz with Diassi coming and LT dropping back. I can't fault the inside blitz because it's an offensive line that's been confused, and why not try it? And just didn't work out for the Giants.
Mark Ingram takes Ruzek's pick from the 10 back to the 23-yard line. Brett Hager makes the tackle. And the Eagles didn't take a lot of time, less than a minute, 2 plays. Longest of Keith Jackson's career. He was kind of a forgotten man in the offense, and a lot of that had to do with nobody being able to get the ball to him.
And look out.
Yep. Well, it's the Giants and the Eagles.
Boy, and somebody almost got his helmet ripped off there.
That's Brian Williams, I think, who was nearly removed from his headgear, and vice versa.
Good thing he's got one. It looks like it cut his nose in the process. No flags, though.
Where do you start?
Yeah. That's almost like when the dugout's empty. A lot of bodies, a lot of pushing and shoving.
Yep.
No damage done. And the crowd here at the vet is into it.
First down, Giants from the 23. 7:15 to go in the half. Mark Ingram in motion. Rodney Hampton cuts it back. He does that so well. Picks up the first down. Gains 11. Knocked out of bounds by Eric Allen.
And this is what the Giants have to do right now. They're down by 10, but what they do better than anything else is run the ball, and where they run it better than any place else is to the left. A good matchup tonight running the ball is Elliott against Simmons. That time Big Jumbo collapsed Clyde Simmons to the inside. Hampton takes advantage of it and gets to the outside. You're down by 10, but this is the type of place the Giants run, run, run. Simmons is a great pass rusher, but I'm not sure he's the equal of Elliott when it comes to playing the run.
First and 10, New York from the 35. Hostetler hit as he throws, and it's incomplete, intended for Turner. And naturally, you got Reggie White right in the middle of things.
That would have been a sack last year.
In the grass.
Yep. But seeing that Reggie White was the only Eagle that was on Hostetler, Johnny Greer, the referee, allows the play to continue.
And again, Riesenberg having a difficult time with Reggie White. Everyone does, but Riesenberg over the past couple of years has done a good job against Reggie White. He comes in tonight, however, with a very sore ankle. And when you take on a Reggie White, you better be healthy.
Second and 10 from the 35. 10-0 Eagles, 6:42 to play in the half. Here they come. It's like a jailbreak and a sack. And the ball's out. Seth Joyner got the sack. And there's still no whistle.
And Reggie White's got the football.
And it's Philadelphia ball at the 21.
The dam is broken, and the defense started it for the Eagles on the series before this. They turned this entire ball club on.
Watch this thing from behind. Here comes Joyner on the blitz. Byron Evans, rather, 56 in there, and then Joyner with the hit, and a fortuitous bounce right to Reggie White. And look at that move. That's the best move a running back has put on all day.
And that's a 300-pounder.
But watch the hop to White. I mean, some luck involved there. And now the Giants defensively, they've got to rally. They have got to suck it up here.
Maybe Reggie's the feature back they've been looking for.
I don't know that there's anything else he can't do.
Right. First and 10 from the 22. Here's McMahon, and he gets buried. It's a 7-yard sack. Carl Banks knocks him down at the 29-yard line.
Boy, the meek and mild-mannered need not apply to play in this game tonight.
Well, they tried to take Banks on with a back. Watch Heath Sherman. And what Banks does to Sherman. And Banks trying to swat the ball out. McMahon holds on, but he goes down heavy.
Boy, the ball actually did come loose, and luckily for McMahon and the Eagles, he fell right on top of him.
Second and 17 at the Giant 29. 6 minutes to play in the half. McMahon turns and gives the ball to Heath Sherman, and he can barely get started. And Lawrence Taylor makes the tackle at the 27-yard line.
Taylor coming again, and taking a swat from Ron Heller and spinning out and getting involved on the tackle. He's so quick, even now in his 11th year.
Well, if the Eagles don't get another yard, it'd be a 44-yard field goal. So I would think to, even if they don't get the first down here, at least make it an easier field goal attempt for Ruzick.
Now Grove's defensive unit blitzing on 3rd and 15. McMahon throws. Roy Green makes the catch, takes it to the 19, and once again Roy Green puts them in much more favorable field goal position with a 3rd down catch.
Good read of the blitz by McMahon, and Roy Green was right in sync with him. Breaks off whatever pattern he had planned, brings it over the middle, and he's wide open.
Roger Ruzek, who made a 38-yarder, will attempt to make a 36-yarder. Jeff Fiegel will spot it. And Roger Ruzek tacks on 3 more. So the Eagles create the turnover. Cash in for 3, 4:26 to play in the half. 13-0 Eagles. College football this Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Many of you will see the Huskies of Washington, number 2 in the country, and very potent against USC. Other games, Alabama against LSU, Indiana against Iowa, Texas against Houston. College football this Saturday on ABC.
That potential Michigan-Washington Rose Bowl is starting to look pretty darn good, isn't it?
13-0 Eagles as Ruzek's kick is taken at the 8-yard line by Rodney Hampton. And Hampton, who is pressed into returning kickoffs because they don't want to put Meggett back there tonight because of his bruised heel, takes it to the 27-yard line where Robert Drummond makes the tackle. 4:17 remaining in the half. Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia holds in excess of 60,000. Stadium opened in 1971.
Were you here for the groundbreaking?
No, shortly thereafter, though.
Did you design it? I mean, you had to have something to do.
Yeah, right.
One of your many degrees.
First and 10 at the 27-yard line. Hampton squirts out to the 31. That's a gain of 4. 2nd down and 6. Simmons makes the stop. Well, the Eagles have been welcoming the Giants with open arms in the last 3 years, having won 5 of 6 and leading here tonight. Last year the Giants won on opening night 27-20, but as we mentioned at the beginning this evening, when the Giants came in here last year in week 11, the Giants were 10-0 and the Eagles won it by 18.
Don't we know it?
Yeah.
The next week we had the Giants and the 49ers.
2nd and 6 at the 31. Takes to Hampton. Costa with a roll and nobody's open and he throws it away.
And we talked so much about the Eagles up front with White and Brown, Simmons. They have a good secondary, not only good cornerbacks, they play the defense well under Bud Carson. They were so wild and reckless under the short, pudgy one, Buddy Ryan, who must be watching this one tonight, and delightfully so. But they were just helter-skelter in many cases with him. But under Bud Carson, they do a lot of the same things, but they do it with a lot better scheme.
2 yards of play, that's not getting it.
3rd and 6 from the 31. Tip and caught by Ingram as the Giants get a giant break. And it's a 1st down. Jerome Brown was the guy who batted it in the air, and it winds up in the hands of Ingram for a 1st down.
Oh, that's a big-time break for the Giants. They get out right at midfield as the ball is batted in the air, and Ingram was the only one in the area.
And Jerome Brown, a defensive tackle, doesn't rush the passer, but drops back into coverage. Look at 99 there at the top of your screen. He's 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. A real unusual look that time by the Eagles. Instead of rushing Brown, they drop him off into coverage. Maybe Reggie White will be playing running back by the time this game's over.
Bunch in motion, first down from the 49 on a delay. Here's Hampton. 10-yard gain to the 39, very close to a first down. Andre Waters with the tackle. 2:47 to play in the half, and it is a first down, New York.
Sometimes you'll see a team that seems to come to life after they get a break, something unexpected that happens in their favor. Maybe that'll be the case now for Ray Handley's Giants. They got a real plus there when Ingram stayed with the ball after Brown tips it. Let's see if they can capitalize on it.
Ingram in motion, and Hostetler tries to draw the Eagles off. There's no play. The play is dead. Line judge Jim Quirk making the call.
Ball start. Right tackle prior to the snap. First down.
Doug Riesenberg, the man right here, number 72. Let's see if we can see him make a move. Oh, there it is right there. That's a situation where you saw him just do nothing more than fall from his fingertips down to the palm of his right hand, but that's enough.
First and 15. Last play before the 2-minute warning. Hostetler throws incomplete, intended for Carthen. And again, the Eagle pressure forces the issue. 2-minute warning comes with exactly 1:55 left in the half. Eagles 13, Giants nothing. Philadelphia on a very cool November evening. But the Eagles are hot. They lead 13-0 as they try to snap a 4-game losing streak. 1:55 left in the half. 13-0 Philadelphia. Second down, 15 for the Giants at the Eagle 44-yard line from the shotgun. Hostetler gives it to Meggett, and he can't get free. He's tackled at the 44, just about the line of scrimmage. Seth Joyner is there.
That's the kind of call you call when you have not been able to protect your passer. Trying to slow down the penetration of the defensive front four. There's the brain trust on their hard over the left.
Well, they're hard at work trying to figure out a play that's got some points involved. The Giants in a desperate quest here for some points before the end of the first half.
Third and 15 from the 44-yard line. Hostetler throwing. Ingram makes a great catch, but he is short of the first down.
And this is in that, 50-yard field goal range here. This is going to be an interesting call. Do they go for it, or do they try a long field goal?
Well, you got Raul Allegra, who can hit from 50 yards out. There he is, brought back when Matt Barr pulled a muscle and couldn't go. But again, this is a pressure pass by Hostetler. And he has been besieged all night long. Ingram with a deep move. That takes a lot of time. Hostetler has to have a lot of faith that he's going to have time to deliver it. And he was right on the money with it.
Would this be a 48-yarder if they tried it here? This is a tough call for Ray Handley.
Well, it's fourth down and a long 2. There is Matt Barr. If he had to, he said before the game he could kick tonight, but he'll wait till next week.
The Giants are going to go for it. Allegre stays on the sidelines, and Ray Handley deciding that this is beyond what he's comfortable. Allegre kicking.
Eagles have 3 timeouts, and there is 57 seconds on the clock.
When I said Barr could kick tonight, he could kick. Yeah. Obviously he can't. He's in civvies. He's inactive.
And another factor here, what wind is here is in the Giants' face.
Fourth down, 2 from the 31. And here is Meggett swinging to the outside. Not even close. Flag at the end of the play.
And Ray Handley praying for a face mask, and it doesn't look like he's going to get it.
More like a holding call.
Holding. 76. Offense is declined. First down.
So Ray Handley's going to go into the locker room with a team that last week was outscored 17-0 in the second half and outscored tonight 13-0 in the first half.
John Elliott, the guy flagged for the hold. Watch the left of your screen. He pulls out, and he's actually going to make the block. Well, there you can see the left hand grabbing the jersey of Seth Joyner.
But what a play by Joyner to turn that back to the inside. When you turn it back to the inside against the Eagles, they pursue so well that they'll just eat you up.
Philadelphia 1st and 10 from the 35 after they get the ball on down. And a little shovel pass to Byers. And Byers breaks it for a 9-yard gain, and there are 2 flags down, thrown simultaneously as Byers gets to the 44. Against the Giants.
Little quick toss to Byers is almost like a quick screen.
Illegal use of hands. 56 defense. First down.
Lawrence.
Well, he does not get many calls. He should get a lot more called against him. But let's take a look as he is being moved to the outside by the tight end Keith Jackson.
He had that left hand up in the face mask of Keith Jackson. That's what brought the flag. No doubt of it.
After McMahon had trouble handling it, he gets to Byers. He takes it to the 40. That's a first down. The Eagles have all of their timeouts remaining.
Well, Byers providing tonight the running the Eagles have not had in their previous 8 games. They moved him to the inside. They've been using him as a flanker, as a wide receiver, as a wing back, all over the field. But tonight they have consistently kept him into the inside, and he comes up with a big gainer.
Boy, the key for New York right now is they just can't allow the Eagles to put any more points on the scoreboard. This would really be demoralizing before the end of the first half. To fail on a 4th and 2 and then to turn right around and allow the Eagles to come back and get more points. This would not be a very good way for this Giants team to go into the locker room.
And the Giants this season are averaging only 16 points a game to begin with, and trying to score at least 16 in the second half alone against the #1 defense would be very formidable, obviously. First down, 2 timeouts left for the Eagles. They spent their first one just now. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. McMahon behind Roy Green, and incomplete.
That was one of the few poorly thrown balls of the night thus far by Jim McMahon. Green was open, and he would have picked up 6 or 7 yards and been able to get out of bounds and stop the clock, and McMahon just missed him.
Can't help but thinking of an old-timers game every time I see McMahon throw to Roy Green. It's great.
That's the truth. He got 10 years throwing to 13 years.
Say one thing about the guy that's 13 years, Roy Green, he can still run.
2nd down and 10. And McMahon goes deep for a wide open Fred Barnett, but he is out of bounds.
Yeah, he's well out of bounds.
And he had sprung free.
Perry Williams was the cornerback to that side, and he decided that he was going to get in on the play happening underneath. Watch Williams. He's going to go with Barnett. He's going to read a receiver breaking inside and decides to go back upfield. I can only assume that that was a mistake by Perry Williams, or else he didn't get the deep outside help that he thought he was going to get from a safety. One or the other.
He thought he was going to get Emerson Walls coming over, and Walls did not come over. Had McMahon put that inside, it would have been deep trouble for Giants.
3rd down and 10. McMahon fires, incomplete, and nearly picked off by Myron Guyton, intended for Keith Jackson. It'll be 4th and 10 with 22 seconds remaining in the half.
I don't know whether Jackson intended that.
I don't know
He made
either.
a superb play against Guyton, either accidentally or on purpose.
It looked like an accident to me, didn't it?
Well, it did.
But take credit for it, Keith.
Guyton's all focused in on it. No, I think it was Jackson. He went into
You're
Guyton.
right. Look at that.
Good play by the all-pro tight end.
Eagles send Jeff Eagles, their punter, out with 22 seconds. Dave Meggett sets up for a return at the 10-yard line. Meggett's going to let it bounce. And Philadelphia downs it at the 14-yard line. Robert Drummond is there with 11 seconds remaining.
And the crowd boos, but I think back the old saying, pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. I think Rich Kotite very happy to go into a locker room here leading 13-0. 4th and 10, a big gamble, and he just didn't think he was going to risk McMahon to the play.
You know, he's never lost it. His enthusiasm, his optimism, even though he loses Cunningham in the first game, he's on a 4-game losing streak, and you talk with him, this is one of the most enthusiastic guys, and you're going to see a unique side of him here at halftime as he works the sidelines.
He was mic'd during a game earlier this year, the Pittsburgh game, a game Philadelphia won. We'll take a look at that at halftime. Hostetler with a kneel down. That ends the first half. And the Philadelphia Eagles, the suddenly resurgent Eagles, with Jim McMahon and that tremendous defense, leading 13-0. We'll return with halftime activities after this message from the NFL and a word for our ABC station.
ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Brought to you by Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. And by ITT Corporation, building people's dreams.
Back in Philadelphia, Veterans Stadium in the city of brotherly love, where the Eagles lead it 13-0 as we begin the second half. And the Giants will get the ball. Roger Ruzek to kick off. Hampton and Ingram back for the Giants. Ingram at the 9, fumbles it, picks it up. And fumbles it again at the 15-yard line. And the Giants are somehow able to recover amidst the passel of green shirts at the 14.
Well, if you live and die with the New York Giants, right now is where you're going to intently start looking for some signs of life. And this wasn't one of them. Ingram drops the ball initially, and then he's going to let it go again on the hard hit. And it was a good bounce, and it was recovered by the Giants. So
they put a helmet right on it.
Two bobbles on one play.
First down at the 15-yard line. Big hole opens for Hampton, but it closes in a hurry as Andre Waters and Wes Hopkins, the pair of hard-hitting safeties, come up to stop him after a gain of 5. Andre Waters, 8th year, and Wes Hopkins in his 8th year as well.
Huge hole opened by the Giants offensive line, but Waters quickly up there to make the stop.
That's as big a hole as you will ever see.
There's Hopkins there. Both hard. We talked about the secondary. It's a good one. They'll hit you, those safety men, and the corners can cover very well, man for man.
Hampton lining up 8 yards deep. Gets the handoff and picks up about 3, so he's a little short of the first down. Wes Hopkins is there to make the hit, and it's going to be 3rd down and 2. Handley's Giants now scoreless in over 60 minutes of play. The whole second half against Washington and the first half tonight.
And that back that was turned to you there, that was Phil Simms, who was intently trying to get a point across to Ray Handley, offering whatever suggestions he has, and Lord knows he's got enough of them.
Might have said, put me in. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. 3rd and 2. Whistle.
No problem with the play clock. There's still 5 seconds left.
Timeout. Philadelphia, number 1.
3rd and 2. They felt they didn't have the right people in there, and Byron Evans was the man who called it.
Well, that might have been, they might have been crossed up by the fact that the Giants went into the shotgun formation.
They were looking for a short yardage set by the Giants, and they got a pass set, and they didn't like the people they had in there.
Yep, smart call there by Byron Evans.
Bud Carson, longtime assistant coach with several teams, including the great Steeler teams, then the head coach with Cleveland for a couple of years. Now the defensive coordinator here. His defense tries to hold on 3rd down and 2, and this time the Giants come up with Hostetler under center. And he has it knocked down. Byron Evans came blitzing in and batted it down.
Well, back-to-back plays by Evans. B&E, as he's known to his teammates, he was the one who didn't like the setup when the Giants went into the shotgun, and that time came on the blitz.
It's also a linebacker that Bud Carson, the defensive coordinator, has said is about ready to become an all-pro. Bud Carson recognizes the talent. He said pretty soon they will around the league.
Here's Landetta to punt. A low, very deep kick to the 21, Rod Harris. Brings it back to the 30-yard line. That was a low Landetta line drive. Bobby Abrams makes the tackle, and the kick travels 50 yards. 13:09 remaining, 3rd quarter. Tuesday night, as always, big night, primetime ABC Full House. Home Improvement, Roseanne Coach, and the Barbara Walters Special is our primetime lineup mañana. Eagles, 1st and 10. At their own 30, Keith Byers swings to the outside and picks up 6. He's tackled by Everson Walls up at the 36-yard line. Well, you know, you look at the Eagles, and things looking terrible over the past month for them. Fans loving what they see tonight. If they win tonight, all of a sudden they're 4-5, and their next 3 games are against Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Phoenix. This team is not dead, especially with the expanded playoff format instituted last year. Keep in mind, an 8-8 team went to the playoffs last year.
Not only that, but they make the Giants 4-5 as well.
Exactly. And in effect, as Byers comes close to picking up the 1st down, they would be ahead of the Giants because they would have beaten them head-to-head. And here's what we're talking about in the East. Washington unbeaten. Here's Dallas sitting in very good shape in terms of a wild card. Giants at the moment at 500. Phoenix at 4-6, and the Eagles 3-5 coming in. They're going to measure.
Following that Phoenix game you referred to, Al, the 4th one down the line, we'll see them against Houston on Monday night.
Yeah, that'll be, you know, the Philadelphia-Houston game, which isn't as glamorous as we had thought when the schedule first came out, naturally because of Cunningham, but still, to see the run and shoot against the Philadelphia defense is going to be very interesting.
Especially if they play the way they are playing tonight against the Giants. They have throttled the Giants.
First down at the 40-yard line. Byers to the 42, gain of 2. John Washington makes the tackle.
Look at Pepper Johnson. There's a guy that's trying to get his group going. I mean, you will not find a more emotional player in the NFL than Pepper Johnson, and he is trying to light it. He's trying to get this thing going.
Well, that was one of the themes in New York over the past week, that the Giants were playing without emotion. Hanley took umbrage, but clearly if they lose tonight, that's going to be a recurring theme next week.
I wouldn't label this guy as playing without emotion.
2nd and 8. They pick up the blitz. Jackson makes the catch and picks up 5, gets knocked down at the 47-yard line by Banks and Collins. And Banks is slow in arising, and so is Jackson.
And the Giant players signaling over to the other side to get their training staff over for Carl Banks.
Banks was playing this game with very sore ribs. He wore a flak jacket all through practice this past week. Banged those ribs up last week against Washington, and the stoic one played with a broken bone in his hand through much of last season. Practiced all week long, but he was in pain and he was hurting.
That's him behind Keith Jackson rather, and tough to see exactly what happened.
Unfortunately, both guys are up and appear none the worse for wear. Banks walks off, and so does Keith.
Oh, look at that. Mark Collins, his left hand actually goes into the face of Carl Banks. You wonder if maybe he didn't get poked in the eye or something. What a player. What a player he is.
Plays in the shadow really of Lawrence Taylor, at least from the publicity side of it and all the ink and all the press. But Carl Banks, when you go around and talk to other players, offensive players, they'll tell you that this is one of the best. Well, he plays the run. He doesn't play the dramatic linebacker position as does Lawrence Taylor, but he plays it so steady, and that's Dr. Russell Warren of the Jazz looking at that eye.
3rd and 2 now for the Eagles as they come up in the gun at the 48-yard line. They pick up Taylor, but there's McMahon time, but there's a fumble by Williams, and the Eagles are there. David Alexander, the center, with a very alert play, retains possession for Philadelphia.
And that's the type of play as an offensive lineman you don't make unless you're hustling downfield to try to block for your teammate. And that was the case there. David Alexander was hustling downfield to try to make a block to spring his teammate loose, Calvin Williams, and was there to hop on the ball.
Alexander's been the one constant of that offensive line, the one steadying influence, and he makes a big play.
That's the second good hop for the Eagles tonight. Remember the first one that bounced right to Reggie White?
Second time in 3 weeks that Alexander has made a similar play as Keith Byers takes it to the 41-yard line. Alexander made that same kind of play against New Orleans a couple of weeks back. Pepper Johnson gets credit for the last tackle after a gain of 6.
And again, Rich Kotite's formula tonight, moving Keith Byers to the setback and letting him run with the football, is paying off. Byers with some big yardage in critical positions tonight. That's the most he's carried in a game since 1989. The Eagles using him all over the field for the past couple of years.
He's carried 9 times for 35 yards, so he's averaging close to 4 yards a pickup. It's 2nd and 4. His 10th carry of the night. Picks up about 4. That's close to a first down as he takes it to the 37, and we're under 9 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter with the Eagles on top 13-0. Johnny Greer signals first down, Philly.
There's Jeff Kemp, who suffered a concussion last week.
Keith Byers, very, very slow to get up. He is slow. See Otho Davis, the trainer of the Eagles, out there. This is what is in the process of being a very, very fine drive by the Eagles. Byers doesn't look to have an injury to a leg or a shoulder or anything like that.
Kind of clutched the hip, Dan, as he came up, but they look as though they're talking to him. They might be just a little bit confused. He might have got a shot in the head. There it is, right there.
Yes, I think that was Myron Guyton that came flying up in there. And yes, I think you could say he got a shot to the head.
Whoa. That's where you forget all your zip codes, all your area codes, and that's the quiz that they were giving him just to see how stable he is. Here comes Guyton with a shoulder pad right on his helmet.
Keith comes off. As play resumes, it's a first down for the Eagles at the Giant 37, and James Joseph, the rookie from Auburn, replaces Byers in the backfield. And they put him to work immediately. And he runs right into Mark Collins, but then he's able with that second effort to push forward to the 35 and turn no gain into a pickup of 2. Joseph is 6 feet even, 222.
7th round draft pick, and he was the leading rusher for the Eagles during preseason, and Oh, he's only had 11 regular season attempts, but they did want to look at him, and now Banks is having another problem. And he's being assisted from the field. That's Ronnie Barnes, the Giants trainer, on the left, and oh, he's hurting. He had rib cartilage damage, and again practiced all week, but the Giants were very aware that the situation that could return if you get hit.
Bobby Abrams comes in to replace him. It is 2nd down and 8. From the 35, Joseph takes the swing pass, and Lawrence Taylor spins him down at the 31-yard line.
That's a fine open field tackle by LT. That was a pretty nifty little move that Joseph put on him, but Lawrence didn't bite on the inside part of it and then stayed with him and made the tackle.
But what a fine scheme, Dan. Also, the Giants had Lawrence Taylor missed that, Joseph would have taken that ball inside the 20.
And as an offensive coordinator, that's all you can ask is let me get a running back out there in a one-on-one situation.
Exactly.
3rd and 4. Four-man rush. McMahon fires incomplete. Intended for Roy Green. Jackson covering, and Lawrence Taylor forced the issue that time.
Oh, what a nice move he puts on Ron Heller, the left tackle. Fakes to the inside, and boy, really hopped upfield.
Eagles would be looking at somewhere around a 47 or 48-yard field goal, and McMahon looking to the sidelines. And here comes Taylor with a good move, and Jackson with good coverage on the intended receiver.
It's 4th and 4, and the Eagles will line up ostensibly to go for it. Play clock is down to 5. Giants show blitz. They need 4, and they originally, I think, had it, but then Keith Jackson gets pushed back. Where are they going to put it? And the Giants are saying, how in the world can you put it there? And if they put it there, it's a 1st down.
And they are putting it there.
Now give him the progress to where he was hit. They could drive him back 15 or 20 yards, and they'll still bring it back to where the contact was made.
Well, he catches it on the 26. Right there.
There's the hit.
And he is driven back. But that is a spot that you won't always get.
No, because the tackler did not sustain the tackle.
No, that's a real break for the Eagles. That is a generous spot.
Absolutely. Here is Joseph from the 26, taking it to the 23 for a gain of 3. The report on Byers is that he took a helmet in the back, and his return tonight is questionable, and clearly he is in spasm at the moment. So they continue to work on Byers and the rookie James Joseph.
And Carl Banks still on the sidelines for the Giants, replaced by Abrams. So this game is taking a toll on both sides.
And now Sherman comes in a 2-back set, and they throw to Heath Sherman. And Sherman takes the ball inside the 16-yard line, which should be enough for a 1st down. Collins and Jackson were there.
This is the kind of running that Heath Sherman provided for the Eagles a year ago, and they're getting another look at it. He was a big playmaker for them a year ago, over 650 yards rushing, and this is what he does best. He's really hard to take off his feet. He has very low center of gravity, and he runs very low to the ground.
Well, Mark Collins, watch him come in from left, doesn't even wrap up. He just comes in and more or less falls into Sherman. I don't know if he thought Sherman was just going to fall down for him or what. The Giants right now are playing sloppily on defense.
This is the 14th play of the drive. The rookie James Joseph picks up 3.5. It's been that kind of a drive. Very time-consuming. Reasons and Walls in on the hit. Well, McMahon is doing exactly as they continue to work on Banks what the Eagles want him to do. He doesn't have to win the game by himself. keep you in the game is what he has to do, and that's exactly what he's done. Using the clock, inspiring the defense, as Kotite would say.
He's a surgeon here, too. If you can't get in his face, he will pick at you. No one delivers the ball as quickly as McMahon.
2nd and 6 at the 11.
Nobody needs to.
Here's Joseph. Joseph breaks a tackle and scores.
Joseph's first professional touchdown, and the Eagles put together a running game tonight, coming in averaging 2.6. They have put on a show on the ground tonight.
Well, another case of the Giants defensively hitting but not wrapping up. We have seen a group of missed tackles here on this drive by the Eagles.
And you saw a very angry Leonard Marshall venting his wrath and looking up at the board for the replay, which he really doesn't want to see. Ruzek with a point after. The Eagles are on their way to turning their season around. They lead 20-0, and they have found a new star. James Joseph, the Auburn rookie.
Joseph breaks 3 tackles. The Giants are cooked like one of bookbinder's lobsters.
Look at some very unhappy Giant supporters. That's Bob Tisch, 50% owner with the field glasses. That's Ann Mara, wife of Wellington Mara on the left, and John Mara to her left, the president and chief counsel for the Giants. Ali Sherman, a former coach, was also in that booth.
Ruzek to kick. 4:04 left in the 3rd quarter. It's a very short kick. Fielded at the 28-yard line by Howard Cross, the tight end. He brings it back to the 39. Kenny Jackson makes the tackle. And we remind you, a week from tonight, we will be at the Metrodome, where the Bears, in first place in the NFC Central, take on the Vikings on Monday Night Football. Back in a minute. The Giants leading the league in rushing coming into the game, 151 yards per game, and tonight against this vaunted Eagle defense, 45 yards.
And if there's one team you would not want to be down 20 points to and try to come back by putting the ball in the air, it would be the Philadelphia Eagles. That front four, they're just going to turn loose now. They're going to slash, and they're going to be looking for Jeff Hostetler.
1st and 10 from the 39. Hostetler airs it out, and he has an open man, and Turner makes the catch, loses the ball, but they are saying he is down at the 7-yard line. Wide open was Odessa Turner. He was tackled at the 7, and all of a sudden, 1st and goal Giants.
It's been a while since a team has needed a play like that more than the Giants have. Odessa Turner comes up with a play, and Hostetler the throw. This is nothing fancy. There's not even a move to the inside. A blown coverage by the Eagles.
Isaiah Jenkins, and I think they were trying to match up Jenkins against the weakest offensive receiver, who's caught the fewest passes, that is. And big gainer by Turner.
Longest pass play of the season for the Giants. 1st and goal, and Hostetler throws, and there's all kinds of action and a flag in the end zone. And the intended receiver, Ingram, felt he got mugged.
Well, Wes Hopkins was the defensive back in the area, and Hopkins had his back turned to the play, wasn't looking at the quarterback. Let's see if that's the guy that gets flagged.
Took a lot of courage on the part of Hostetler to stand in there and deliver that. He caught himself an eagle right in the face.
Byron Evans was the guy.
We have 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, 56 defense, roughing the passer. That is declined. Pass interference, 48 defense in the end zone. That penalty is accepted, and the ball is spotted at the 1-yard line. First down.
Well, take your pick as far as the Giants are concerned. Byron Evans gets flag number 1, the one that is refused.
It was a shot to the face of Hostetler. Byron Evans could have taken him right in the chest and it would have been fine.
Now watch on the left side of your screen. There's Wes Hopkins.
Oh, no
That's interference all the way on Mark Ingram.
And on first and goal, it is Maurice Carthen who is stopped short. Seth Joyner is the man who makes the hit. So it's second and goal for the Giants, who have had a lot of trouble punching it in all season.
Well, they're going to go left. No secret that when the Giants won some tough yards, they're going to go left. But nobody
hit by Joyner
came close to touching Seth Joyner.
Second and goal. Carthen and Hampton in the backfield. Cross in motion. Hampton dives. Touchdown. It is a touchdown. The head linesman is right there to signal touchdown. At least that's the call on the field, to the dismay of the Eagles.
And how important was that touchdown?
Huge.
Immeasurable to the Giants. And semi-deflating to the Eagles because they weren't beaten physically. They made a mistake in the secondary when they're protecting a 20-0 lead that is really inexcusable.
And not only did they need a touchdown, clearly, they needed a fast touchdown, a quick one, and they got it. 2:21 to play in the third.
Hampton launches this from about 4 yards out, and no question.
But they'll take a look at it, as they do on all of these types of plays, as Jerome Brown, who was shaken up last week, needs the attention on the field.
He had the knee problem from a year ago, and he's had a little bit of trouble with it this year, too. That does not appear to be anything to do with the leg.
Last week in the game against Washington, Hampton did have momentarily a touchdown taken away, and then he eventually got it on the same drive, and here he appears to be in clearly. So Brown comes off. Allegre for the point after. Hostetler to hold. So the Giants, who had gone pretty close to 5 quarters without a point, get a touchdown to make it 20-7.
Now we'll see if the Giants offense can help the Giants defense now. The Eagles have moved the ball as well as they have all year tonight. Moved it on the ground, they moved it on the air, and now it's kind of incumbent upon the Giants defense to come up with some big plays. And here's one man who could produce it. He was out there hollering and screaming on the touchdown run by Philadelphia's Joseph. Tackles being broken on that drive, and a very fiery Leonard Marshall having a superb year.
Well, the Giants are going to try to do what they've been unable to do this season, and they're going to do it in reverse if they can come from behind, because they've played very good first halves and very bad second halves this year. And tonight they try to reverse the trend. In the fourth quarter this season alone, the Giants have been outscored 61-33.
You know what was refreshing for Giants fans watching this telecast, I'm sure, is the fact that they came out and threw that ball deep, something they have not done this year.
Allegre's kick is taken at the 4-yard line by Rod Harris. And Harris breaks the tackle and then takes it out to the 25-yard line, and Bobby Abrams is there to stop him, number 51.
Harris, who's been having real problems handling the football the last 3 or 4 games, fumbles, muffs, so far has handled the ball flawlessly in this game and made a nice return that time up the middle.
McGriggs, a special team player for the Giants, has played so well on special teams, missing that tackle that would have had Harris back around the 15-17-yard line.
Carl Banks is back in the locker room. He's being examined. He has a groin injury, and he also has an ankle injury as well. Right ankle is being x-rayed, so Bobby Abrams will take his spot. James Joseph is the sole back in this set, and the Auburn rookie swings to the outside and gets spun down by Myron Guyton up at the 30-yard line after a gain of close to 5. Talked about the Giants' woes in the second half this year, and take a look at that in the fourth quarter.
Almost a 2-to-1 scoring advantage, 61-33.
Giants are getting into a lot of injury problems. Banks in the locker room now. Adrian White hurt last week. He key man in their nickel. Renee Thompson gone from the Pittsburgh game a few weeks ago. 2nd and 6 at the 30-yard line. Here's Joseph for a first down. All the way out to the 47-yard line. Myron Guyton makes the tackle. And again, the Eagles came into the game with a measly 2.6 yards per carry average. And they're taking a look at a guy right now who appears to be cementing a starting role.
Well, a lot of flack has come the way of Antone Davis, the right tackle, but he and Ron Solt to the right side and David Alexander, the center, really created a nice hole inside here for Joseph. And if ever a defensive team needed a 3-and-out series, it was the Giants. And conversely, the Eagles have moved the football effectively.
First down from the 47. Here's Joseph again. And we don't want to anoint a rookie as a starter that quickly after half a quarter, but that's how desperate the Eagles are to find somebody who can do the job on the ground.
Well, they could put Byers back to where they have used him for the past few years as a wide receiver, a versatile sort of a man you can move all over the field if you could get somebody who can run the ball like we have seen Joseph run it thus far. But he's getting some fine blocking too, some enormous holes being opened by this line that has really been put together in pieces over the entire season. A couple of rookies working in and out of the lineup. They have been horrendous up until tonight.
McMahon lets the clock run out. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Philadelphia 20, the New York Giants 7. And we'll return to Monday Night Football after this word from our ABC station. Welcome back to Philadelphia. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf. We start the 4th quarter. The Eagles are up by 13, and it is 2nd down and 6 for McMahon and the Eagles at the Giant 49. And this is James Joseph for a first down. James Joseph out of Auburn, and of course that's where Bo Jackson went to school. And James Joseph's nickname was Bo Peep.
Again, working in behind Solt and Antone Davis.
Davis may have had trouble thus far pass blocking, Dan, but he knows how to run block.
Well, he better for 2 #1 draft choices. There's Solt, the former Indianapolis Colt that came over here in a trade and back in '88, and Antone Davis, Alexander. There's Hudson playing left guard, Heller there at left tackle. They have, if the Eagles should go on and win this game, game balls might be in line for those guys.
Joseph has carried on every play on this drive, and that was his 5th carry. And his least productive one is Marshall and Reasons make the hit. And let's take a look at the numbers through 45 minutes of competition. 2-to-1 edge for the Eagles in yardage, just about.
There's a 126-yard advantage for the Eagles.
And no
total offense.
No turnovers.
No.
And the Giants limited to just 46 yards on the ground.
And the Eagles have almost doubled that.
The Giants rushed for 46. They're averaging 151 coming into tonight.
I don't think you could have got many people to take the bet that after 3 quarters, the Eagles would have twice as much rushing yardage as the Giants.
2nd and 10, going deep is McMahon, and Everson Walls was there with perfect coverage on Fred Barnett.
You know, those might have been real big odds on a bet that the Eagles, after 3 quarters, would double the Giants in rushing yardage.
Here's Everson Walls. He's looking right into the backfield. He doesn't buy any of it. Good position on Barnett. Barnett started to come into the inside. Walls had Myron Guyton on his inside helping him out, so he stayed on the outside. He almost came up with an interception because McMahon saw Guyton and threw it to the outside.
3rd and 10 at the Giant 42-yard line. McMahon has to get to the 32 for a first down, and does.
Oh man, what a gutsy guy. You gotta like it. He came off the bench last week after Jeff Kemp suffered a concussion and he had already left the game. That time he picked up the first down. Major hits in the get-along with that knee brace, but he knew where he had to go.
Kenny Jackson takes Roger Brown out of the play.
McMahon can hardly make it to the sidelines.
No.
I mean, you may or may not like his flamboyant attitude and his appearance, but you have to admire his courage.
James Joseph tripped over his own man, and he tripped over, I think, the foot of Anton Davis.
You know, it's that courage and competitiveness of McMahon that's got him in so much trouble over the years. He's what? Never started more than 14 games in a single season. 13 games in a single season.
But he wins.
Philadelphia, One Liberty Place, City Hall. Happy city right now. Their Eagles trying to turn the year around. What better way to do it than against the Giants?
Old Billy Penn is smiling right now.
Here's Joseph on 2nd and 9. Nothing opens for him. It's going to be 3rd down and 7. Lawrence Taylor complaining, wants to know why a flag wasn't dropped.
LT working against Maurice Johnson, number 87, the tight end there to the complete left. LT taking exception to Johnson's block.
3rd and 7. 11:28 to play in the 4th. McMahon throws. Roy Green. And that's another big 3rd down catch for Roy Green. Twice on 3rd down he made catches that put him into field goal range. And now he picks up a 1st down.
And more important than the catch, Al, was he was in total sync with McMahon. They picked up the blitz. Green just took a few steps upfield. McMahon with a 1-2-3, and he popped it out to Green. And just absolute total synchronization on the part of McMahon and the veteran Roy Green.
Yeah, Greg Jackson was right in Green's face. You're exactly right, Frank. When he knifed off to the inside on the blitz, Green broke off his route. This is an impressive drive by the Eagles.
Another one. 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. James Joseph runs smack into Pepper Johnson. 10:20 remaining. Airship Shamu looking down into Veterans Stadium, Philadelphia. Eagles on the road next week. They're in Cleveland. Giants on the road next week at Phoenix.
A long year for Rich Kotite. He thought everything was in control at the quarterback position. Randall Cunningham went down in the first game. McMahon also missing games with injuries. It's going to struggle.
2nd and 9. Joseph. He takes it down to the 10-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 7 as Eric Dorsey makes the tackle.
Nothing about it, you could say Rich Kotite's enthusiasm has infected this entire team. They were out here last night, and you would have thought they were 9-0.
Really. They were loose, and they are loose, and that's exactly the way Rich Kotite has told them he wants them to be. He said, if you're going to make a mistake, make it because you were flying at somebody. If you're going to get beat because you oversold, or you were going more than you maybe should have. He's a guy that can rally the troops.
McMahon, another masterful drive, just eating up the clock. 3rd and 7. And he gives it to Joseph. And that's a conservative play, but a very, very smart play, because they're going to take time off the clock, and a field goal right now is just about going to seal it, because it's going to turn a 13-point lead into a 16-point lead.
Yeah.
Smart football.
2 touchdowns for the Giants would have given them the lead. And you're exactly right, Al. This forces the Giants to get 2 touchdowns and a field goal. 3 scores as we move below the 8.5-minute mark. A tall order against the Giants, against the Eagles defense, rather. A very tall order.
25-yard field goal attempt for Ruzek. The Eagles to hold it. 23-7. Philly up by 16 with 8:13 remaining in the fourth. I don't know that you can read anything into Phil Simms warming up. He's been warming up from time to time tonight.
And he's warming up. Hostetler's on the other end of those passes.
Yep.
Very cool night, and that was a long drive by the Eagles, and Hostetler wanted to loosen the arm a bit. Better loosen the legs, because when he drops the pass, he's going to have a lot of company.
Ruzek puts it in the air. Mark Ingram takes it at the 5-yard line. It's a block from Hampton, but nobody was there to block number 57 of the Eagles, and that's Scott Kowalkowski. Eagles with another long drive, 9:08, resulting in a field goal, and they lead by 16, 8:04 to go. That's our college football lineup this Saturday, so check your local listings for the game in your area. The Huskies of Washington, are they looking terrific, coming off their win over Arizona State against the Trojans, reeling after their loss to Cal. Sorry, Frank. Alabama, LSU, Indiana, Iowa, Texas, Houston are other games.
Loss.
Frank,
Bull run.
we've got time here for a State of the Union address on USC football.
I knew you'd get around to it.
Boy, they're struggling, aren't they?
I didn't mention about how Michigan was looking forward to going back to another Rose Bowl.
No, I'm just... That's former Michigan coach at the helm out there at USC, Larry Smith. That's right.
Giants down by 16, first and 10 at their own 17-yard line. Hostetler, a wobbly pass, and it's incomplete, and there's a flag down. Against New York.
And that defense will draw the holding flags. Simmons, Brown, White, they really put the pressure on the quarterback. And the thing is, if they come with that 4-down line, they don't have to blitz. They can get the pressure without it. That gives them more people to put into the coverage.
Except I think that might have been a corner.
It was a corner blitz.
Off the corner. McCaffrey, I think, was the guy.
Holding, 81 offense. Still first down.
McCaffrey
went in motion across the formation, and look there on the left-hand side. There he is blocking against John Booty and just drags him to the ground. Not really used to blocking in the backfield as a wide receiver.
First and 20 at the 8-yard line. Hostetler throws and somehow is able to get it into Stephen Baker and all that traffic up to the 25-yard line. And the Giants will come up with time at a premium, 7:45 to go, and go without a huddle. 2nd and 3 from the 25. Dumped off to McCaffrey, and McCaffrey takes it out to the 27-yard line, stopped by Booty. Very close to a first.
Eagles in a dime defense, 6 defensive backs. 1 linebacker and the 4 big men on the down line.
It is a first down. Jerome Brown comes limping off again. From the 28-yard line, Hostetler, off-balance throw is incomplete. Well, we mentioned before the recurring theme in New York last week, in the media anyway, Giants' lack of emotion and a little bit of an undercurrent about Hostetler, you know, more in the terms of Simms would be more of an inspiration or whatever, or a change of pace. And I have a feeling you're going to see a little bit more of that this week as well.
How about a whole lot more of it? There's George Young, the man who put the talent on the field. The Giants out there with 10 #1 draft picks on their roster. They have 13 players that were taken either 2nd or 3rd rounds.
2nd and 10 at the 28. Blitz. Giant line picks it up, though, efficiently. McCaffrey makes the catch up at the 36, short of the first by 3. Hopkins and Booty in on the hit. Under 7 minutes to go.
Dennis with the hurry-up offense now.
3rd and 3. Eagles on top by 16. And that's incomplete at the 41-yard line. That would have been a first down, but Mark Ingram gets greeted by Rich McMahon. And Hostetler took a shot as well as he released.
There is not a more physical defense in the National Football League. First Joyner up at the line of scrimmage, and then Miano downfield. A classic example on one play of the way this Eagle group plays defense, and you think the crowd here appreciates it?
Last gasp here for the Giants on 4th and 3 from the 35-yard line. Hostetler dropped at the 37, and they turn the ball over. Tackled by John Booty.
John Booty, former Jet that was with Bud Carson when he was with the Jets. Earlier we saw a play by Rich Miano, also a former Jet with Bud Carson. Came as free agents. Booty came as a Plan B player this year, but Miano came as a free agent.
There's no scheme that Bud Carson won't try. That time he comes with a corner blitz and drops Mike Pitts back into coverage. Mike Pitts, a defensive tackle, is actually out there trying to cover Dave Meggett. Hostetler pulls it down, thinking he can get up there and get the first down, but comes up short.
I think it's a good time perhaps to think about Hostetler sitting down. Not so much that you're going to change quarterbacks, not at all. But get him out of it, get Phil Simms in, let Hostetler sit down, and while he's still in one piece.
Very good chance that's going to happen. Joseph picks up 2.
Well, that's really doing Phil Simms a favor, isn't it? He hasn't played all year, and he has to go in down 23-7.
What do you do? Call him over and say, go in and pull this out for us.
The Eagles defense. 1983 was the last time Phil went in there, relieving Scott Bruner. And this is not the best of situations, but that is obviously going to be the case.
Simms celebrating sort of his 36th birthday yesterday. It is 2nd and 8.
Celebrated with Jeff Hostetler.
That's right. Over lobsters. Joseph springs to the 30-yard line. 3rd and 4 as the Eagles take as much time off the clock as they can between plays. Giants last 29 regular season games. Only the Eagles have scored more than 21 points, and they've done it once in each of the last 3 years. And tonight, the most points that the Giants have given up in a game, counting the playoffs, since last year's game right here when the Eagles won it 31-13. 3rd and 4.
But Randall Cunningham isn't here tonight.
No. McMahon taking that play clock all the way down to 1 second. Just perfect. And that pass is just perfect.
Oh, what a
Fred Barnett. 1st and goal.
Last year it was Calvin Williams who came down with the circus catch for a touchdown against the Giants. Now Barnett somehow holds on to the ball. That's Williams, 23. He's got help on the inside. He knows that. The double coverage is there. And Barnett with great concentration.
One of the safeties went right across in front of Barnett.
That's Everson Walls.
That's Everson Walls. Boy, he didn't do anybody any favors with that, did he?
Might have been well advised to take a shot at Barnett and
yeah, I would
try and unload the ball.
Eagles take a timeout to get their goal line offense in. 1st and goal, 4:03 left in regulation, and the Eagles on their way to snapping a 4-game losing streak emphatically.
The player in the circle is Everson Walls, in perfect position for a safety to make this play on Barnett. Williams is counting on the help, and Walls chooses to not even make contact with Fred Barnett, who pulls in the catch.
And it's not Williams that should be indicted there, because he was trying to make a play, make a turnover, get the interception. He counted on Walls, and he didn't get the help.
First and goal, Eagles, and here is Joseph, and he fumbles at the goal line.
And McMahon recovers it. Joseph has a lot to learn about trying to get the ball across the goal line in the National Football League, and McMahon comes up limping. Of course, he's just limping more than he was before. You just don't hand the ball out like that far away from the goal line.
I agree, Dan, what you said earlier. No matter what you think about it, his flamboyance, some of the antics he's carried on with over the years, he's there as a football player, goes in and makes the effort, tries to get it in the end zone.
There's a whistle. It's the type of whistle that indicates they're looking at something upstairs.
Are they going to give him the yardage? What's the time limit on recovering your own fumble? You know, they've got so many different rules. They've got one concerning 4th down.
On the field, the play was ruled a fumble and recovery by Philadelphia. The play is being reviewed.
Okay, I mean, tough to argue with the call on the field.
Dave Hawk is the replay official this evening, and he's had a pretty quiet night.
No reversals, no.
The officials have had
decisions.
A pretty quiet night, which is quite unusual
for a Monday night. Yes, we can only.
And over the years with Philadelphia, they've kind of cleaned up their act under Rich Kotite.
I guess, you know, they could be looking to see if maybe Joseph's forward progress wasn't halted by the time the ball popped out. That could be the only bone of contention up in the replay booth.
But Johnny was ready to signal they're ready for play. He's going to tell us.
The play stands. Second down.
Better watch out, John. They're going to go while you're talking.
They're going to hand off to you.
McMahon was waiting for him.
Second and goal. Here's Joseph, and he burrows his way into the touchdown. The line judge came in as if to indicate no touchdown, then raises his arm.
A pair of touchdowns for this Eagle rookie.
Jim Quirk, the line judge. It was a quirky call.
That's a lot of rookie there, too. A 222-pounder, and he's shown some fine moves tonight.
It's ruled a touchdown on the field, and naturally they'll look at it upstairs.
As Lawrence Taylor looks upstairs, he's glaring at the replay booth, I think, saying. Kenny Wolf, our producer, is telling us that he's not sure if this is a touchdown or not.
Well,
you can see him pull out the ball and try to stuff it across there, get it across.
It'd be tough to change it from that angle, I would think.
Do you think he was under or over?
Over.
He's pretty close to being over.
Strange kind of over, wasn't it?
Yep. He went under to get over.
After further review, the play stands. Touchdown.
He's over. Yes, he is over. It's over for the Giants, and it's over for the unders.
You are so sly. So sly.
Rozak boots it through. Well, you know, you talk about crazy odds before the season. What do you think the odds would have been that after 9 games, the Jets would have a better record than the Giants?
We talked about it in Chicago. The Jet football team is under Bruce Cobbs that has really turned around.
Well, you know, here's a team now that's lost 2 in a row. A loss last Sunday night to the Redskins, but a radically different loss than this loss tonight. I mean, the Redskins are the only undefeated team in the National Football League, and the Giants dominated them in the first half and then didn't get it done in the second half. Here they are tonight. I think a totally different story. Dominated by the Eagles, a team that comes in here wounded, showing no offensive firepower whatsoever, a quarterback on one leg, and they get dominated by the Eagles. It's tough to say that these are two teams with identical records headed in opposite directions, because you still have to wonder if Jim McMahon can stay together to lead the Eagles to the playoffs. But the Giants right now, I think, are a team that's really hurting. I mean, really questioning themselves as to whether or not they're good enough to win.
And Rich Kotite is the one that said we have to have number 9, and we pointed out earlier that McMahon has never started more than 14 games.
Frank, you live in New York. Let me ask you this. What kind of a week is it going to be for Ray Hanlon?
Oh, it'll be smoking.
Cancel your subscriptions. Touchback.
I think a lot of it is that so much was expected of a Super Bowl team, and you go back over the history of the Super Bowl teams, and so few of them have been able to repeat. But this Giants team was 3-3 in their last 6 regular season games, as we look at Phil Simms come in, and they beat Chicago, all right, in the playoffs big, but they won the 49er game in the last second with a Matt Barr field goal after a fumble to get the football. And then we all know what happened in Super Bowl 25. And this is not a dominant team, a good football team that got everything they could out of their talent a year ago, and they're struggling this year.
So Phil Simms sees his first action since the middle of December last year, comes up in the shotgun, and immediately dumps it off for Dave Meggett out to the 29-yard line with a little bit more than 3 minutes remaining.
You can do that for the rest of the time remaining too, and it might be wise to do just that. The Eagles will give them anything they want underneath. They'll give them nothing big.
2nd and 2. Simms throwing and incomplete, intended for Stephen Baker. Giants have had only 14 offensive plays this entire half. The Eagles 34.
We're getting a report up from the Giants bench that Jeff Hostetler has a sprained ankle, and that is the reason that Phil Simms is in there at quarterback. So they are saying that that is the reason for the quarterback change here late in the 4th quarter, that Hostetler again has a sprained ankle.
You saw the entire defensive unit, first team and second team, gathered around Al Groh.
Should have had that huddle in the first quarter.
Yeah. 3rd and a deuce, and Dave Meggett can't find those 2 yards. He stopped at the line of scrimmage. 4th and 2 with 2.5 minutes to go. Reggie White gets credit for the tackle. Simms fumbles the ball, picks it up, gets tackled back at the 24, and of course it is all academic. And Rich Miano wants the crowd to lead the cheers again for not only the defensive unit, but the entire Philadelphia Eagle team, both offensively and defensively, so dominant tonight. It's kind of in need of a dramatic win to turn their season around, and this is exactly what they got.
The snap from Bart Oates was lower than Phil Simms was anticipating, and he just didn't react quickly enough to get down there and pick it up.
Eagles will now come out and work on the time. Rich Kotite, a former Giant tight end, by the way, now in his rookie year, has got to be very pleased with what he has watched tonight. He's gone through some tough weeks. He's lost 4 in a row, and there were times I'm sure that, well, I'd like to forget about all of this, but here comes Jeff Kemp, who suffered a very severe concussion last week against the 49ers. Hospitalized. They say he's just fine.
Keith Sherman. And that'll take us down to the 2-minute warning.
Well, they're terrifying for Jeff Kemp's father, Jack Kemp, the cabinet member, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. He and Jeff's mother, Joanne, were here. They had to watch Jeff Kemp on the carpet for about 12 minutes, but he is fine.
The last time the Giants lost a game like this, it was during the strike in '87, so, you know, that really doesn't factor into the equation, you have to go back to 1980 for a regular game. 44-7, a loss to San Diego.
And that was so long ago. That was Dan Fouts throwing to Kellen Winslow.
Yep. That time the Giants lost by 23 or more points. Second down. The handoff goes to Robert Drummond. Takes it to the 21. And we can tell you the executive producer of ABC Sports is Jack O'Hara. And tonight's game was produced superbly as always by Ken Wolf and directed by Craig Jenoff. Our technical director Joe Schavo. Associate Director Big Ben Harvey. Halftime coordinating producer Dick Buffington. Assistants to the producer Kurt Pfluger and Craig King. Kirsten Anderson running things in the booth. Our statistician George Hill. And our spotter, the venerable Malibu Kelly Hayes. 3rd and 7 at the 21-yard line. Robert Drummond to the 18-yard line. A minute to play. Meggett and Hampton.
How humiliating it is as the Eagles are mercifully running the clock out on the defending Super Bowl champions.
Well, that sign says it all. You bet.
Few people argue with that.
A nicer guy you will never find than Richie Kotite.
Yeah, that's Zeke Bartkowski on his right. He was with Richie Kotite as a quarterback coach with the Jets when Richie was the offensive coordinator under Joe Walton.
This is a 4th and 4. And here's Drummond, and he picks up the first down. And now they will be able to just not do a thing. Walk off the field, congratulate each other. Don't have to run another play.
Zeke, a former quarterback of the Green Bay Packers.
Well, Rich Kotite was saying last night, hey, this team is playing very, very hard. We're not that far away. We can turn it around. Frankly, I thought he was whistling in the dark. He wasn't. The light at the end of the tunnel was Jim McMahon.
What a performance, not only by McMahon, but that patched-up offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles. They protected him when he had to be protected. And the Eagles discovered a running game that has been so elusive for them all year.
McMahon and Sims.
About 50,000 yards talking to each other.
Well, we'll talk to you next Monday. Chicago and Minnesota meeting at the Metrodome. Eagles win it here 30-7. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf. Good night from Philadelphia.
Saturday on ABC's College Football, it's regional action when undefeated and second-ranked Washington battles Pac-10 rival USC. 8th-ranked Alabama tackles LSU, Indiana at Iowa, or Texas at Houston. Now, except on the West Coast, stay tuned for your late local news and ABC News Nightline over most of these ABC stations. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football has been brought to you by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We build excitement. By the big taste of Miller Genuine Draft Light. Big draft taste comes to light. By the people at Nike who encourage you to just do it. And by GTE. At GTE, the power is on. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.